Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. In today's video I've got some really exciting content. I'll be sharing with you guys the debut here of the Reate Horizon D. So this model's been anticipated for a few months, but David hasn't even released pictures yet, but was kind enough to allow me to purchase mine before he did so I could do a review and kind of share with you guys the upcoming model that is the Horizon D here. So it'll come in two variations. I opted for the full titanium model, and then there will be one with a carbon fiber show side, so it'll be a little bit lighter, obviously look a little bit different, but I'll talk about the weight and specs in just a bit. So this is the possibly, I don't know, the fifth. Reate's had a number of models, the Horizon A and B and the C, as well as the District 9 in the Tonto and Drop Point variations, as well as the Hills. So they've had a number of knives come out fairly quickly, and this is just the newest one. Carries design language of certainly the Horizon A, B, as well as the C here, and it's a progression. So anyways, let's get into the specs, overall impressions, details, and as well as do a few size comparisons. So ships with the Reate knives baggie here. Does come with extra hardware, just like the last few models, extra washers, extra lock bar insert, extra body screws, extra pivot screws, so kind of the works there should you ever need them. And spec-wise, what we're looking at here is, of course, a titanium frame lock flipper. It does use 3D machined titanium handles, as well as the multi-row bearing system, which is pretty cool. Blade thickness, according to the manufacturer, 0.157 inches thick. Blade steel is Bowler M390, a very nice super steel. Blade length is 3 3/4 inches. Overall length is about 8.75, and then the hardness on the M390 is 61 to 62. So weight on this thing is 6.3 ounces, and the carbon fiber version will weigh about an ounce less at 5.4 ounces. And then the thickness in the pocket is 0.54 inches thick, and then the width at the widest portion here goes from about 1.7 to 1.4 and decreases from there. So anyways, let's do a quick size comparison while I've got it out. There we go with the ZT801. Certainly longer. Thickness is relatively about the same here. Yeah. And then the ZT0352 CF, also an M390. These two relatively close. It's probably the camera angle, but look relatively close, but the Horizon D is actually a little bit bigger. All right, so that's it as far as the specs go. Now this knife does have a few unique features that I'll get into in the details, but my overall impressions, I've liked all the Reates that I've had thus far, and of course I was really excited for this one, which is why I've hounded David for a couple months to get it, and thankfully get it early. So he's done a few things that haven't been done before on production knives, such as these really cool pivot collars here that are actually anodized to look like a colored Damascus or Timascus coloring and pattern and so forth, as well as on the pocket clip. So we saw this on a few of his kind of one-offs, one of which went to Jim Skelton, but now this is being offered on the entire line of the Horizon Ds. So that, coupled with the 3D titanium, coupled with the multi-row bearing system, materials, flipping action, you know, what's not to love. So really happy with mine. Really glad to have it, and I'm sure those of you who are going to track these down at the various dealers when they become live will also be quite happy as well. So Blade HQ, GP Knives, Fort Henry Custom, and Knife Center should be the primary dealers on the Horizon Ds here, as well as his other models. So Reate's had a big year. They've done a few collaborations, such as building the Warrior 1 for Liang Ma, and then there's the upcoming Valkyrie as well, which was designed by Faisal Yamin and being offered exclusively through Fort Henry Custom. So a lot of good things going on, but let's get into the details then on the Horizon D. So of course M390, stonewashed blade here. It has the really cool fuller and blade shape from the Horizon C, which is kind of the drop point with a good deal of belly. I really like how the blood groove or the fuller transitions into the handle. That's really cool. So just marks the M390 blade steel as well as the Reate logo. Flipper tab has jimping on the front and the top, so you don't slip when you're doing light switch or push button. It does both well, and then it also kind of does a hybrid movement between the two. So jimping up top, fairly wide, fairly rounded, offers kind of lower traction. I'd prefer one with a little bit more bite, but I'm sure there are those of you who prefer the less aggressive jimping as well. So you don't really slip on the handle. It's got fairly good ergo, so it's not a make or break for me by any means. And then the cutting edge, nice and sharp, clean and consistent on both sides, of course, so that was well done. Now let's move on to the pivot collar. So again, one of the standout features of this knife, you do have a bronze pivot collar screw, or pivot screw, that is in the center there, and then you have these concentric rings, almost look like an explosion or a drop of water, some of the images of the galaxy that they show, but it just kind of wraps around that center one, so really cool. The anodizing, so again, these are titanium, but they've been anodized to create that really cool pattern that looks like a colored Damascus, essentially. So really nice attention to detail. Again, this is a first for production knives, definitely. The body screws are a nice blue titanium screws, as well as the stainless steel lock insert screw. Back spacer has been given same color, but this is a nice polished piece of titanium, beautifully done. And then of course the pocket clip also carries that really cool anodizing that looks like a colored Damascus, so very nicely done. Flipping action, very nice. One thing that I didn't love about the Horizon C was the fact that the detent ball, it took quite a bit to overcome the tang of the blade and to get up onto it. This one is not as pronounced, so it's a little bit easier to disengage. And of course the multi-row bearing system is exceptionally smooth, so well done. Blade centering is perfect. Lockup is probably about 40% with that stainless steel lock insert, so really easy to disengage. Has some nice chamfering here on the inside of the lock bars so that it's not uncomfortable. And then they went ahead and chamfered the top here where you flip, kind of these slight 45-degree angles so that there's no sharp edges when you flip incessantly. So, all features that I really liked on the Horizon A. As you can see, it certainly carries some of the same design language. Nice finger choils here, kind of arcs up on the bottom side as well as the back. Pretty good ergonomics. I really love the 3D machine titanium with this really cool pattern that they had here on the A and the B, and then this new one that they have on the D here is actually really nice. Obviously, aside from being beautiful, it's also functional. It looks, or it feels like it gives you a little more grip here in the hand. So yeah, less likely to slip, but from an aesthetic standpoint, it is awesome. So anyways, the blade shape on the A was of course this recurve here with the drop point, and they omitted that when they designed the C. So both of these, the Horizon A and the D here, were both done in M390. The A and the B have been discontinued, so you won't be able to find these out there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the specs and the details, I suppose. Again, another really strong offering, really cool features. It's obviously one that I'm very happy with, and it's been a good year for Reate. They keep pushing the envelope. Now, price-wise, these are going to come in higher than all of the previous models. As to what threshold kind of warrants it, that's a personal decision, but I think the MSRP on these is going to be $400. I don't know what the price is going to look like once they hit US dealers. They've typically offered them for a little bit less, but I can't say for certain what the price from the dealers is going to be. But I didn't hesitate to jump on this model, and I certainly have no regrets. really like what he's done here. So really beautiful piece, clean, simple. This is not one that I'm going to modify such as I did with the A. This one was heavily modified, so I think this one's perfect the way that it is. And again, I'm pretty stoked to have it. So I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in as we take a look at this soon-to-be released model. And if you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and then you can follow me on Instagram under Epic Snuggle Bunny as well. So take care.